Hi, it's Jimmy at Encore Tennis. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to learn how to hit a topspin forehand. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into the specifics, let's talk about the scenarios you would use a topspin forehand shot. So scenario number one will be when you're approaching the net, when the ball is low and you're trying to pick up the ball off your toes and trying to generate topspin to drive the ball over the net when you're approaching the net. Number two would be as a defensive shot. So if you're pushed back far in the corner of the court, you look to hit topspin defensively, loop it over the net high, give yourself time to recover back into the middle of the court. And number three, you would use a topspin forehand when you're trading during a rally. This would give you lots of controlled power and it would help change the pace as well. If someone was doing slice, you could topspin it back and keep them pinned back to the baseline. Most of the pros use topspin forehands these days. It's definitely a shot of the modern era. Let's get into the next bit. Okay, so let's talk about the grips you need to generate topspin on your forehand shots. So there are two main grips to use. So the first one would be the Eastern forehand grip. So to get that, if I'm looking at the bevels on my racket, I've got 8 all the way around here. I would be looking for bevel number 1, 2, number 3, this one here. So I'd want to hold the racket with the from the bottom of my index finger all the way to the bottom of my palm. So I'm placing it on bevel number 3. This is going to give me a bit of angle on my racket face, so it's going to help me generate topspin as I drive and hit the ball. So as I drive and hit the ball, the racket's going to be at an angle and it's going to help me rotate, generate topspin on the ball. The other grip is the semi-western grip. So if I'm again looking at the bevels on my racket grip, I'm looking for bevel number 4 now. So bevel number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be a more extreme version of the previous grip. So you can see here again, my racket's at quite an angle. Again, this is going to help me generate topspin, brush up on the ball, help me rotate it through the air and to generate the topspin I need. If we try and use a chopper grip, we're really going to struggle because this is giving us a flat racket face. So really tough to try and generate topspin. So the two main grips are the Eastern forehand grip and the semi-western grip. So another thing that the Eastern and the semi-western grips help us do is for the racket to travel vertically up on the ball as we strike and go through the shot. Okay, so now we want to talk about how we prepare for the shot coming towards us. We know which grips that we need to use. We want to obviously be in a nice ready position before we receive any shot in tennis. So racket out in front, our knees bent and on our toes. So the ball comes towards us, we want to turn, we want to have a unit turn, so we want to turn ourselves, turn our trunk, so we get our racket low, that naturally takes our racket low, and then we want to get sideways on. We want to get the racket going low to high and swinging over the shoulder in one nice smooth swing. We want to try, if we can, to contact the ball at waist height and out in front of us if we can. If we do, then we're going to get the maximum velocity on the racket swing, and we're not going to be off balance on the shot. If we hit it behind us, we like to be on the back foot, off balance, and the ball isn't going to go where we want it. So let's just to refresh on that. So we want our ready position. We're going to turn our trunk, unit turn, sideways on. We want to try and lead with our left foot if we can, and then we're going to swing low to high and follow the racket all the way through, contact point at waist height out in front of us, and finish over our shoulder. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the footwork. So for a basic forehand tennis shot, I would tend to teach my beginner players a closed stance. So with my racket, if I look at my feet, I've got a racket length between them. If I put them on the floor, and if I was a right-hander, I would be leading with the left foot. You see a lot of pros on tour. They're obviously doing lots of different styles of forehands, where they're doing open stance forehands, where they're really pushed out wide. If they're pushed for time, they do an open stance forehand and give themselves a platform to hit that shot. But in the purpose of this video, we're just learning how to hit a basic forehand topspin shot. So the best stance is to be with your left foot in front, right foot here, and then you've got a nice base. You want your legs nice and low, so you give yourself some stability, and you're going to generate and drive some power from the legs on the shot. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the ball contact on a topspin forehand. Unlike when you're hitting flat forehand shots, when you're striking the ball dead on at 3 o'clock, we need to be striking the ball at 5 o'clock. And then kind of finishing up at 12 o'clock with our racket strings. So the racket's going in a vertical motion with our Eastern or our semi-Western grip to help rotate the ball and drive that through the air with spin. Okay, so to refresh the points, we're in our ready position. We've got our, let's say we've got our semi-Western grip. We're on our toes. We're doing our unit turn, so we're coming around like unit turn. We're getting our left foot in front, and then we're trying to drive the racket from low to high, and then swinging and finishing over our shoulder. So we want to contact the ball, obviously still at waist height and out in front of us when we're hitting the topspin forehand, and striking the ball at 5 o'clock and brushing the racket strings all the way up to 12 on the ball, and that's going to help drive some topspin through the shot, and away we go. So also when we're hitting a topspin forehand, if we're getting lots of topspin forehand, the trajectory of the ball over the net should be in a lovely arc shape. If we're not getting that lovely arc shape, then we're probably not getting much topspin, and we need to go a bit more extreme on the grip, or get a bit more under the ball to drive that ball over with topspin. So I hope this video is helpful. I'm going to put lots of some slow-mos and some descriptions below of what we need. Let us know if you like this content, if you feel there's anything we can do better, or if there's any other content you'd like to see on the channel, and we'd be happy to try and make some content for you. We look forward to seeing you in the next video, and we'll see you soon.